Welcome back, guys. Today we're getting into another character tier list, the post-chapter 139. I hadn't originally planned on doing it this early, maybe wait until the second part of Season 4 came out, but the last chapter changed everything. A lot of my opinions on characters, and honestly, it kind of retroactively changed my opinions of other characters. So, right in front of your eyes is my original tier list. If you want to see my explanations of why I put everyone where they are, well, you can check out that video. Today, we're going to get into my new list. I wanted to post my original one here so you guys can see where I had everybody before. And, if I was going to, put up this new list, we just need to do a little bit of this. There, guys, here's my new list. No, we're going to actually go through it. Alright, blank slate. I do want to start with Erwin, though. I started the last video with him. I'm going to start this one. And while, the previous moving him down all the way down was a joke, he really is the bottom tier. He is completely ruined as a character for me. Everything that whoever liked Erwin, it's gone. He became a slave to destiny and honestly invalidated everything that came before. He became a plot device with pretty much no agency. And honestly, if I had to simply stated, he was retconned. And that's not good. We followed this character since he was 10 years old. We have a flashback from when he's 8 years old. We saw everything he did, everything he said, and everything he thought. If you want to sit there and tell me that he was lying the entire time, especially after the time skip, was he also lying in his thoughts? Did the Founding Titan give him the power of, breaking the fourth wall so he knows we're, reading his inner monologue? So he's like, oh shit, I'm being watched. Time to lie in my own mind. No, it was a poor writing. He was retconned. This ending was not set up, not foreshadowed. It, somewhere along the line, and you can pick whatever conspiracy theory you want, Isayama changed his ending. Because of his editors, because he watched too many superhero movies, because he felt this ending was better for some reason. I don't know. But Erin's character ends up being a plot device with a cheap twist to set up Mikasa, Yamir's character, and give us a happy ending for everybody besides him and, Mikasa. I think it's bad writing. Everything I liked about the character was erased. Like I said, just retconned. There's no way he was showing all these heavy romantic feelings for Mikasa. We saw his inner thoughts when he was interacting with other characters. We saw how he thought about Historia, how he thought about others, but at no point he's saying, man, I wish me and Mikasa could be together. Are we supposed to believe all his romantic thoughts were happening off screen? That's what I'm saying. When you have a protagonist and you actually get access to everything, his actions, thoughts, and, you can't just sit there and say, well, the guy you've been following for 10 years wasn't actually who you thought he was. So, it's an F tier easy. I don't like anything about his character anymore. I think he was entirely ruined. I go into more detail in my other videos. Check those out if you really do want to know why I don't like Erwin so much. Honestly, you can find anywhere on the internet. Anybody who doesn't like the ending probably can tell you it has something to do with Erwin. So, I do not like him. And since last time we started with Erwin and went down, let's start with Erwin this time and go up. We're going to go and we're going to pick up Mikasa. I do want to do her next. There she is. She is also F. The entire series, she has no character arc whatsoever. Everything about Mikasa somehow also involves Erwin. You cannot explain Mikasa's character without also explaining Erwin. There is no substance to her besides Erwin. And the one opportunity she had to grow, which was chapter 138, when she decided to kill Erwin, and even though she loved him, she was pushed far enough that she had to do what she had to do, kill him, but she still loved him afterwards. That's how the curse of Yamir was broken and all the Titans disappeared. But then you go 139, 3 years later, and she's still obsessed with Erwin, dude. What is the message here? Oh my god, dude. So there is nothing good. There's no good message from Mikasa's character. There is no arc for her. She honestly is more tragic in a way than Eren, because she was at least set up to be this tragic, whereas Eren got retconned. So, it's F tier easy. Everybody who's happy about a Mikasa-Eren shipping ending, you clearly are just doing it to say you were right, because this is not good for Mikasa. If you really loved Mikasa, and you really loved Eren, or not Eren, or you loved Mikasa's vision of Eren, you wanted them to be together, this is not a healthy way. Eren saying he doesn't want her to be with another man, crying, when he had every opportunity to tell her before that, Mikasa being obsessed with him after his death, to when literally a bird comes up to her, whether we know it's Eren or not, or some metaphor. She literally, it's all Eren. Her ending is Eren, everything is Eren. She is not a good character. That is an F. So, this one might be a little more controversial, but for me, it's not at all. Armin is also an F. He did nothing post-time skip except talk to people. He was set up to be the next Erwin, which is why he was chosen. He had goals and dreams. He was the one who was supposed to do everything. He was supposed to take his place eventually. He did nothing post-time skip. He used his Colossal Titan twice, and he just talked to everybody else and used his magical and talk no jutsu to convince them. There were no plans. He offered nothing when it was time for this big decision of what's going to happen to Paradise. He offered nothing when it came to Eren. And that by itself, had him a little bit higher, because I actually weighted his pre-time skip arc pretty well. He ended up sacrificing his life and finding the beach. It was a really great character arc for Armin before he reached the beach. His character was slaughtered the moment he thanked Eren for killing 80% of humanity for their sake. And this is going to be a trend with a lot of the Alliance characters who decided to step up against Eren, but then thanked him for it, or were happy with his sacrifice. Armin thanked Eren for genocide. Or thank you for your sacrifice. The whole point is they didn't want to get to the point where they had to use that. So, I don't know. I feel like that's Armin's character is, in this chapter, everybody just convenient to the plot, rather than being convenient to themselves. One thing Isayama said is he loves characters that are true to themselves, that they do not lie. Well, Eren was not the case. Clearly, Isayama's the one lying. And I think Armin is the same way. A lot of these characters just became convenient for the plot or for other reasons. And it just destroys them. The entire main trio ended up just being all plot devices. There's no character in them. It's really bad. And to move on and wrap up tier F, I'm gonna go ahead and put, where is she? Yamir. I don't even know why she was in the story. This was entirely pointless character. Came back, put her Stockholm Syndrome as the ultimate goal of the story. Cure what's it called, Yamir's Stockholm Syndrome, remove the Titan Curse. And that's literally all the message of the story is. It's a big dumb, and the parallels between her and King Fritz and Mikasa and Eren is disgusting. It's honestly dumb. It's like the whole point leading up to was be a puppet of Ymir, following this one cycle, doing the rumbling if you don't even know if you want to or not, just so you can cure her Stockholm Syndrome of the dude who murdered her, who basically raped her, killed all, her parents, her village, ripped out her tongue. It's like, I don't know what message you're trying to send, but plus, we know nothing about her. He even said only Ymir knows her true motivations. We don't even know how she was affecting the real world. She was dead for 2,000 years, but she can materialize in the real world now. Any explanation of that? And Ackerman's, memories can't be erased. How did Eren do that? How did he do that? The Founding Titan. And the thing is, so if he can only use the Founding Titan while he has Zeke, so you'd be like, oh, he just sent the memories to Mikasa at the very last second, but Zeke doesn't have Zeke any longer. So how did he do that? How did he erase Mikasa's memories? How did he send them last minute? He can't do that without Zeke. He has royal blood, which means Ymir interfered. Well, how did Ymir interfere? Like, you're leaving all these plot holes. And then Ymir was a plot device. She was an end goal. She was basically... There's nothing good about these characters. She was just introduced essentially for no reason. She was set up, I think, in such a really strong, great way, and it was just massacred. These characters are the worst for me by far. It's no question. You know, we're going on to E tier. Annie, again, you know, she was, I think she was E last time as well. Waking up and being thankful to Eren. Dude, he slaughtered 80% of humanity, including most of Marley, where her family was. Her dad got away, so I guess she doesn't care about, you know, Liberia or anybody else. But man, it's just bad. Connie, where is he? I mean, he's glad his mom came out okay, but again, nothing else changes. It's there's no character arc there. It's peak. She wishes she could talk to Eren, and that's what are you doing with these characters? Like, he basically just stomped over all of Marley where you grew up, or you tried to defend. You know, he killed some of those warrior cadets. Where is she? There she is. It's dude, I just can't. Willie gets moved up. I think he was F tier last time. Still fuck this guy, but I needed room at the bottom, so everything ends up being relative. He had the options to actually make a peace ending happen, because, you know, Eren had to kill 80% of humanity to set them up as the Tiber family. Well, he was already the Tiber family. He could have already tried peace talks before the whole world, you know, was trying to kill itself. He didn't. He cast them as island devils. You know, I didn't like that. And so it's actually what I think about all the people who were in charge. Rod Rice, willing to sacrifice Historia, wanted everybody to do his dirty work. Sure, you know, he had goals and dreams, but he didn't want to get his hands dirty. I don't like his type of character, did not enjoy it. Same with Yuri, you know, very idealistic, like Armin. This was, you know, it's why Volume 69, the Friends chapter, what's it called, is being colored. Not volume 69, chapter 69 is being sent with the final chapter. Colored, whatever, you know, that you know, to give the parallels between Armin and Eren and Yuri and Kenny, and everybody's a slave to something, you know, that messaging, trying to feel like it's been hinted at the whole time. No, dude, retcon. If you can pick and choose foreshadowing and just try to make things fit, dude, it's bad. Who else do I have at E? Zachary probably fits there. I don't know. I feel no way about him. I mean, the chair was funny. Dina, bad parent, same thing as last time. Don't really change much. Like I said, I just pushed these people. You know, this was my F tier before. Just push them up because, because at least I don't know. They didn't actively hurt the story like these guys did, in my opinion. I'm gonna keep stating that. I did move Kiyomi up. She's helping Paradise at the very end. She is opportunistic. She sided with the Alliance when it benefited her because it would have protected the country she's from. Well, now she's still trying to get Paradise's resources at the end, and you can see her standing behind Astoria. And my woman's just trying to hustle. She's trying to she just wants that money. So we'll put her at D. That's pretty funny. I did move up Hanji. I think she gets a boost because she wasn't alive to thank Eren at the end. She really failed at her job as scout commander. You know, she had I liked her character arc where she started doing darker and darker things, especially during Uprising. I really liked that. And I think, you know, I liked her sacrifice. She was one of the few people who actually died fighting. She gave up her burdens, you know, similar to the way Erwin did. I think I judge her a little too harshly. Especially, you know, I was being really negative against the entire Alliance because they were up against Eren, and they weren't letting him basically save aliens. Well, we now know Eren didn't want to save his friends. I mean, he did, but he basically didn't know how things... He even said it himself. He didn't know how things were going to turn out. So he doesn't know how Paradise is going to turn out. So in that vein, Hanji was doing a better job protecting Paradise than fucking Eren was. So we'll put her at a D now. You know, Colt, don't really feel much way. He was a good dude. We'll put him there. Frida was good too. And they just don't have enough screen time. They weren't really developed as much as others. So they're D tier characters. The Lady Tiber, liked her. Just died really quickly. Porco, I think I'm gonna put at D still. He is again, maybe I don't need to reread this series, but I don't want to, and I don't think I will. But I don't really feel anything towards Porco. He was a warrior. He sided with the warriors. He more or less became a good friend. He hated Reiner, but I honestly don't feel too much about him. And same thing with Marcel, good dude, saved Reiner. Tried to save his brother. Don't really feel too much about these guys. I mean, it's a trend. The guys I absolutely think ruined the story are here, but, as we approach the middle, they're just characters that I think were decently written. So going into C, I think I'm going to start with Jean. He is a really well-written character throughout the story, but after he gets turned back to normal and he calls Eren conscientious, I don't know, dude. Something about all his previous friends after Eren killed 80% of humanity, which they opposed. Jean was one of the ones who didn't oppose it as much as the others, but I don't know, dude. I feel like I didn't like it. It was kind of an emotional moment. Everybody saying goodbye to Eren in their own way, but it just didn't make sense writing wise. So I don't know. To me, it degraded his character. It might not be the same for you guys. Who else? I think Eren Krueger dropped for me because him coming back and helping the Alliance, which is a complete, I think, destruction of his character, because that's not what he would have done while he was actually alive. I don't know, that put a sour taste in my mouth, so I dropped him too. I don't think that's something he would have done, and now that Eren lost and there was no greater meaning behind it, then I think that hurts his character. Reiner I dropped to C. My man came out and says, Eren, you really are a... And there are a couple different translations. I think the official one just says, Eren, you really are a... But the fan translations were, Eren, you really are a man. He just destroyed Marley, dude. He destroyed Liberia, the town you always wanted to return throughout the pre-time skip arcs. And then, to wrap up his character, you have him sniffing Historia's letter. It just becomes a joke. And the same thing with Jean. All their characters ends up just jokes at the end, just comic relief. And he had so many plot lines set up, man. He was a person who killed 20% of Paradise because he wanted to be a hero to Marley, to his mom, to his dad. And then afterwards, he created a split personality to deal with the PTSD of doing that. He had Reiner, the fellow big brother of the scouts, and then you have Reiner the warrior, who, heartless, who took up Marcel's persona, and who was heartless, needed to do what to be done, strong, reliable, and it's eventually, after, the pre-time skip, during the 4 years, though they bashed back together once he accepted the reality of what he had done, and he became a very depressed, suicidal character, and this is extremely compelling, the way he is mirrored against Eren, and he doesn't even have he has his conversation with Eren off screen. He was about to commit suicide with a gun in his mouth until he saw Gabby and Falco, and he had a whole thing where he wants to protect Gabby and make sure she doesn't suffer for it, and this was the same thing with Falco. None of that gets resolved, none of that matters. He was one of those characters that you might have been, if he somehow made it out, but his character arc got complete, you might have been okay with it's like walking away and thinking, hey, he killed 20% of Paradise, got everybody eaten by Titans, which I think is worse than getting squished. I think it was a disservice. I don't think his character arc was finished. I think it, like Eren, like a lot of these characters, a lot of the original plans for them was retconned for some reason. So I'm moving down to C. I just don't like what's been done with these characters. I don't remember if I had Grisha at B or C, but he's a C character now. We never got to see why he gave the Foundling and Attack Titan to Eren. I think, I don't know. Like, everybody who was set up to, have more explanations near the end just doesn't happen. I think that scene where he would have shown why he gave Eren the attack and Founding Titan is important. Plus, it's like all that last scene got turned into some memory where Grisha tells Eren he's free. Yeah, Eren, you're free behind the walls. What's it while the whole world outside those walls want to kill you? It's like excluding the Titans even beyond them. And then the king here is going to make sure nothing happens. It's like called, yeah, Eren, you're super free. Everybody's just so bad. Like, the chapter just negatively impacts everybody for me. I think Sasha was still a C. Same thing, I liked her. She never really had character growth or character arc. That wasn't the point of her character. She was more Mimi, but I really liked her. She was, a lot of ways, the heart of the group. I liked her scene at the end with Jean and Connie. I think that was really sweet. We'll keep her there. Somebody I did move up, and I think I'm going to, is Burch Holt. Bert Holt, however, man. I keep seeing so many different ways people spell his name. He is one of the characters that had a really great arc. He was silent throughout most of it, and I think that's why I ranked him lower. But his inner monologue about, it's called, they're right, I'm right, nobody here, has anything, and whatever happens, happens. That inner monologue, I think, is really powerful. And it's also, ironic. He thinks like, I'm okay with whatever result, but then he is begging for his life at the end. I think that's quintessential Attack on Titan, where everybody shows you who they really are right before they're going to die. And there was a lot of that going out throughout the series. And I think Bert Holt is a good character. Even when he came back as a ghost of the past to help the people, that's something he would do. I wouldn't penalize him for that like I would with Krueger. So Bert Holt, I think he's a little bit higher. Falco, still a C. Again, he's just a really good dude. I want nothing to happen to him. But he really does nothing. So, he doesn't have a character arc growth. He doesn't even really do anything except be a transportation device for the Alliance the entire time. That was his role in the story. So, he saved Gabby. Ends up with Gabby, so that's a good C. Magath, I think I'll leave him at C too. He started off as being the person who trains child soldiers, but he ends up caring about them and sacrifices his life for Marley and them, and all around dude. Ilana, I liked how she followed Zeke. Her plans were great. I liked how the shit talking she gave the Alliance, calling them hypocrites. But I don't know what happened to her. Still a C. I liked her. I put our boy Onion Coupon, however you pronounce that. I put him up here. All around, he flew the airship. Not a bad guy. I honestly have nothing negative or positive to say about him. I guess he's a bro. Historia, I moved down to a C. All her panels post time skip are pointless. If they were setting up for some sort of reveal, sure, that's called. I don't think that would have hurt her. But honestly, she did nothing post time skip. Those panels were a red herring that got retconned. I'm 100% sure of it, just like Eren's character. She had so many parallels of being to, a Yamir more than Mikasa did. And I think that's called as a disservice to her character. Taking one of the 104 and just writing her off is essentially what it ends up happening. And then her conversation with Eren never got revealed. It's just bad writing. The people in the comments like to defend Isayama more than they actually care about their own enjoyment of the story. One of the most important things is, if you're consuming media, is be able to give constructive criticism. You are allowed to like and dislike things. You can say, hey, I hate it. You don't have to sit there, oh no, what if I hurt Isayama's feelings? My man is getting paid to write. That is his job. If somebody brings you, what's it called, a chicken salad for your dinner, and then when you wanted lobster or something, you can't say, well, they worked really hard on this chicken salad, I might as well eat it. No, you are allowed to say, hey, this is not what I ordered. I want something else. You're allowed to complain. You're allowed to express your feelings, not worry about everybody attacking you for it. If you don't like it, just say it. Don't sit there being convinced, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. No, you guys read the same manga I did. You saw these panels for these characters. You don't have to sit there and theorize endings to know when characters were wasted or not. She was wasted. Those panels were useless. Whatever plans they originally had were clearly cut. She's a Jaegerist at the end. Dude, I don't know. Like, bad writing. Isayama does not treat his female characters well at all, which is ironic considering, he was praised originally for it. Who do we put up? Well, Luhana said B. Still same reasons. His character arc, he was a coward at the start, then he gave up his life to save Mikasa and Eren. He was a good around dude. He loved what's called drinking. It was a good sign that it means he weren't at war. Really great father figure. Who else? Yamir, I still have her at B. I think she is still one of the most well-written female characters. It's a good thing she died early. Her character arc was complete. She didn't stick around for no purpose like Historia did. And Historia, if we remove the post-time skip stuff, both of these guys are both at B. They have solid character arcs. They're some of the most well-written females there. More than the fan favorites at least. And ends up Historia dropping with what they just treated her in the final Rumbling arc and, even before. Whereas Ymir, really great. She built up Historia's character. She, went through her own thing. It's just well written. A time before. Pixis is a B. He, one of the smarter characters. Armin wishes he was the smartest Pixis, but he did get outplayed by Ilana at the end, and he still did everything he can to save his soldiers' lives. He was pragmatic. He didn't just, drop in when Erwin wanted to gamble. He made his own decisions. Pixis is a great character. I had him rated a lot lower before Shadis, but once, I had read some of your guys' comments, had some conversations, and, I really remembered his character arc. It's really good. Plus, he tried to trip up Eren and make him not join the Scouts. This man is a legend. I won't hear anything about it. He was trying to stop the great evil before anybody else. He had good taste. He was into Carla. His whole thing that he can't change anything, and he wants recognition. Comes back, went to the final thing where he gives his death to help the Alliance, basically gives his life up to save people, and knowing he's not going to get any recognition for it. That is a complete finish of his character. He is well written. It was well done. I really like it. I think they're good. The other character that I ended up moving up to B would be Tom Kasvar. Plot 1, he wasn't wrong, man. If the other choice was Heron's garbage decision, it's his euthanasian plan was clearly the move. He was a good father to Zeke. He ended up saving Zeke. He didn't go around killing people. He, died with a smile on his face. So, I really like him. I judged him too harshly the first time. I think I'm happy with the way this is. All right, we're going on to the A's. A is still Kenny. He brought the chaos we needed into the story. Really great stuff. He was super enjoyable having the bad Ackerman. His last moments where he chose not to become a pure Titan. Love it, love it, love it. He took care of Levi when he, which meshed against his personality in his own way. I think he was done really well. And I think that deserves an A. I enjoyed him on screen. So I think moving on, we're putting Gabby at A. And I'm going to say I absolutely hate Gabby. Or at least hated Gabby. I don't think I hate Gabby so much. She killed Sasha. Her plot armor is the biggest in the series. She's a 12-year-old sliding, and getting shots, like perfect shots, like this is Call of Duty. She's in a flying Titan, landing perfect shots. She is so far away. She is an expert sniper at 12 years old, regardless if she's moving or a target is moving, she will land her shot. But, despite her actions that, made me not like her, hate her even, despite the plot armor, she is the best written female character. She is one of the better, outside of it, just in general, one of the better written characters in the story. Her character arc from where she begins and all the things she goes through to change her view on the world, it's really, 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 really well done. She is one of the characters who I don't think the ending necessarily hurt, and her joining the Alliance didn't hurt her character. How it ends with her ending up with Falco, and turning into a pure Titan at the end. It's all done. She is one of the characters that she suplexes Falco at the end. Dude, that's funny. I didn't even notice it in the first read until I saw somebody make a comment about that. I had to go back and I see the background. Oh my god! I burst out laughing. I think Gabby. It's hard when you have the main trio at the bottom for me, and dude, it's like opposite world. That ending it's crazy. We entered a Twilight Zone, and then I put Flock up here. He is, again, one of the most well-written characters. We're introduced to a guy who is speaking up for the little people, the fodder soldiers, who he says, hey, their lives matter too, they have dreams. They should not just be thrown away for nothing. That their lives are worth giving up for something. He put his faith into Erwin, who was the devil. And later on, he puts his faith into Erwin, who is the devil. He actually genuinely cares about Eldia. He gave up his life for Eldia. He found a greater cause to believe in that he didn't have before the time skip, and he gave his life for it. He, at every opportunity, tried to stop the Alliance by slowing them down to help the Eldian people. His last words were about Eldia. He was a guy without a cause who didn't want to give up his life, and he found a cause, and he ended up being the greatest for it. They're named the Jaegerists, but Eren didn't care about them at all, clearly, now judging by the conclusion. But Flock is a real MVP here. His only problem is he wasn't given enough screen time. He wasn't written in a way that we should be emotionally invested into him, which sucks, because he is one of the most well-written characters. I grew to appreciate him more the longer the series went on. I think he's a solid A. Moving on to the S's, we have 3. Zeke, same thing as last time. He was one of the only characters with an actual competing ideology against Eren's. In fact, but now that we know what we know about Eren, clearly Eren has no ideology either, dude. He's one of the only characters with an ideology in the series. Extremely well written. Zeke did nothing wrong. He was the only one who could actually save the world. Eren, dude, he's the real Jaeger here. I don't have much to say. Zeke's character. I will say I do like his death, the way it happened. A lot of people don't like the Levi-Zeke interactions. I personally will go against the grain. Against the it's like there's a lot of times there's overlap, right? You hate the ending, so you don't kind of dislike Levi and the Alliance to begin with, kind of deal. It's not perfect, but generally, if you were a Jaegerist, your opinions towards characters lean one way. If you were an Alliance lover, your character opinions led another. But for me, I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm just gonna go based on what I personally enjoy, and I really liked Zeke's the way he died. He was ready to die at any time. He had given up on life. Before, his whole thing was he was okay with dying. Dying didn't mean anything to Zeke. But after Armin's talk no jutsu, which is bullshit, but I like where after Zeke became. If he became that way in a more natural way or a more believable way, it'd be much better. But I did like where he ended up. That at his last moments, he learned to appreciate life. That he valued life, and he actually has regrets now. He doesn't want to die. But he has to pay for his sins. He basically murdered an entire scout regiment, and then, Rokako Village. Levi ends Zeke's character, and I think it's extremely poetic. I think it's the moment you enjoy life and then you lose it. His death actually means something now. It's a loss. There's no point killing a character that doesn't care if they live or die. So having a character, want to live and killing them when it's too late for them, I like it. I like it a lot, and honestly, I put Levi at S2. I had him at A last time. I think he is one of he's one of the only characters that actually benefits from this ending. The entire story, he is a guy who puts the mission above all else. The emotions always came second, third, fourth, however down the list. He always puts the mission above. He has a bunch of the badass scenes. He cares about his squad, and the irony of constantly all of them dying while he's the only one who moves on. It's a great way to have a character that's essentially as broken as Levi. He is the I win button. But to have him and his weaknesses that he can't keep protecting all the people he cares about around him, and he just has to suffer over and over and over and over again. And he's not allowed to even grieve because there's always another mission. He keeps losing everybody around him. Continues, he cares about them. He puts the mission first, all his feelings. And finally here at the end, he sees everybody, all the people who gave up their lives for the cause, for the mission. And he salutes them for the first time. And he cries for the first time. And it is an extremely powerful moment. You can argue the meta of, Annie being nearby and her working it. He put himself first. He put the mission first. It's extremely within character. He actually didn't even kill Zeke the first time, they captured him. He will put the mission first over any personal feelings whatsoever. I think that was extremely powerful. I think that is a great end to his character, that he finally can put the mission down, let go, cry, and salute to everybody who gave up their lives before. He kept the promise to Erwin. A lot of people hate that. They thought they ruined Levi's character because he became single-mindedly focused. I personally liked it. Keeping a 5-year promise, I don't know if you guys tried. It's hard to keep promises. Levi kept it. He made everybody's deaths worth it. He gave meaning to everybody who came before. Aaron was supposed to do that, but he's a fucking simp. Oh my god. So Levi, very good, very good. I like him a lot. And it was a travesty that I didn't put him S+ to begin with on the other list. Erwin, unrivaled. Nothing about this end ruins Erwin's character. Erwin is the man. He had the plans, he had the gambles, he had the Susume's, the Shinzo wo Sasageos. This man, he was already on my top 10 character list, right? I still put him at S, even though he was one of my top 10 characters. Aaron was never on my list, whereas, Erwin was. But Aaron was just too hype. I put him up S+ because of the potential of what was going to go down with that last chapter. But in reality, there's only one man who stands above all else, and that is Erwin Smith, the legend. Whether you're Alliance, whether you're Jaegerist, this man gave it his all. He gave up his life. He gambled everything. He stepped on over everybody to achieve his dream, to better humanity, and for himself, for his selfish reasons, and everybody else. And then at the very end, he gave up his dreams and died. Oh my god, his charges, Erwin is just too cool. Oh my god. I would literally, if I was ever going to rewatch Attack on Titan, it'd be solely for Erwin. He is the best of it. Nothing about him is ruined. Oh my god, I'm like hard right now, dude. Oh my god, Erwin Smith. He is the best. But he is beautiful. And let me tell you, Levi chose wrong. He should have been the Colossal Titan. And that's my list, guys. So let me know in the comments what you think, what you would have changed. I know it's a little bit drastically different than my previous list, but man, the story is drastically different with that last chapter. I had to shuffle some people around. My opinion on a lot of guys changed here. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.